Uh, Welcome to the AT&T Forum. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce a good friend of the services sector, Mr. Arun Venkataraman. Arun is the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Global Markets and the Director General of the U.S. and Foreign Service or Commercial Service. He actually took on the role of having, Arun, how many is it? 6,000 Foreign Service employees reporting into you. So that plus his role as Assistant Secretary. Arun has over 20 years of experience in the sector. He's advised companies and the U.S. government on international trade issues. Most recently, he served as the counselor to the Secretary of Commerce before he was confirmed by the Senate on April 7th, 2022. Prior to that, he was with the Obama administration, was ITA's first ever Director of Policy and Commerce, and he also served in the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative's Office, USTR. Born in Coimbatore, India, raised in Houston, Texas, he holds a Juris Doctorate degree from Columbia Law School, a Master of Arts in Law and Diplomacy from the Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy, and a Bachelor of Arts from Tufts University. For those not aware of global markets at ITA, you should know that they are strong proponents of U.S. services exports and advocating for a level playing field across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Arun Venkataraman. Arun. The long walk. We're going to move it next.
Now, Jake, from your mouth to God's ears, would that I had 6,000 Foreign Service officers working under me. I'm not the State Department. Let me be clear again, not the State Department. We have like 14,000 officers. So we're working our way there, but we've got like 240 right now. Definitely need a lot more. Thank you, Jake, for the very kind introduction. It's always great being here with our friends at CSI. And thank you very much for asking me to join you to be part of this year's summit. I'm thrilled to be here to be able to talk about digital services and digital trade, an issue near and dear not only to my heart, but to our collective heart at Commerce. Digital services, in particular, maintaining U.S. leadership in digital services is critical for U.S. economic and national security. This audience obviously knows that better than anyone, but it is worth reminding ourselves why that is the case. First, we need to fight for digital services because they are vital for U.S. competitiveness. They are increasingly the foundational tools for productivity and innovation in everything from manufacturing to healthcare to finance, allowing our companies to outperform their competition and create opportunities for American workers and families. Digital services are not a tech sector issue. They are central to the success of the entire economy. Second, we need to fight for digital services and the policies that facilitate them to level the playing field for those businesses that had the least resources to beat entrenched players, foreign or domestic. I'm talking about our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, our MSMEs. Let there be no mistake, standing up for the right digital policies is not a big tech issue. As I see day in and day out in the work of the Commerce Department, many of our smallest and most innovative companies depend on us to fight for access to foreign markets and to create the right policy environments conducive to their long-term success, including the right policies on open data flows. Take, for example, the small Montana-based company, Bridger Photonics, which provides a methane emissions detection data service to help the oil and gas industry mitigate their methane emissions. Working with our team in the U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service, Bridger Photonics began exporting to Canada in 2019 and has recently expanded its data products to Colombia and Australia. This small company could not provide its services abroad to help our international partners meet their climate goals without the policies enabling cross-border data flows. Third, we need to fight for digital services because they are a significant source of comparative advantage for the United States. This is a perhaps self-evident testament to our pro-innovation environment and the ingenuity and entrepreneurship of our people. But it also explains why, in a time of growing intense competition in international trade, we have to be vigilant not to cede ground. We must not give our competitors room to catch up by hiding behind unjustified barriers or turn a blind eye to policies, even amongst our friends, that create obstacles to the digital collaboration between our companies that will be vital for our shared success. And fourth, we need to fight for digital services because maintaining American leadership globally in this space is not simply a question of commercial advantage, but fundamental to our long-term economic and national security. Many of the tools and innovations created through advancements in digital services by your companies provide critical advantages for us in the national security and defense arena. And support for the right digital policies allow us to strengthen and advance core American values like privacy, equity, and fair competition. Given how important digital services are for the United States, it should come as no surprise that helping our digital businesses expand overseas and supporting the right policy frameworks conducive for the dissemination of digital technologies is a priority for the Department of Commerce and the International Trade Administration. To strengthen U.S. technological leadership and expand opportunities for American small businesses, the International Trade Administration has prioritized the pursuit of concrete commercial deals through our trade missions. This past March, Secretary Raimondo led a presidential trade and investment mission to the Philippines, where she was joined by digital technology companies, both large and small, like UltraPass ID, a decentralized trust platform that facilitates the movement of high-value information across government agencies, programs, and jurisdictions. During the mission itself, UltraPass announced agreements with the Philippine Department of Budget and Management and Now Corporation, leveraging the historic strategic partnership between the United States and the Philippines, and highlighting the growing demand for robust digital identity infrastructure that prioritizes security, interoperability, and user privacy. As we support American companies doing business overseas, we're also doubling down on outcompeting our strategic adversaries by leveraging our unique network of relationships and cooperation. For example, in April, the United States and Costa Rica released a joint statement announcing our strategic commitment to foster open, interoperable, reliable, and secure digital infrastructure in Costa Rica. Commerce has led interagency work with Costa Rica for several years now to promote the use of secure suppliers in the country's 5G networks. Leveraging our success in Costa Rica, we recently convened a regional 5G network workshop attended by countries from across Latin America to share best practices in secure telecommunications and supply chains. We have supported numerous bilateral digital policy discussions and technical workshops on issues like data privacy, cybersecurity, spectrum allocation, and 5G security across the region. And as a result of these efforts, 10 countries in the region have now allocated use of the 6 gigahertz spectrum to open use technologies in line with the US recommendation. Brazil has selected a US vendor to design a secure 5G network for government use. Uruguay signed a memorandum of understanding with the United States to collaborate on select critical and emerging technologies. And El Salvador has signed a joint statement on shared digital policy priorities, emphasizing a shared commitment to deepening cooperation in this area. The International Trade Administration has also worked with partners to support the development of strong, pro-innovation, data governance, cybersecurity, and AI policy frameworks. In April, we took a critical step forward under the President's Digital Transformation with Africa initiative, which Commerce co-chairs with the NSC. During Secretary Raimondo's visit to Kenya, we concluded a joint statement that, among other things, lays a foundation for cooperation to promote robust data protections and enforcement while fostering interoperable mechanisms to facilitate trusted and secure cross-border data flows, including those essential to the development of emerging technologies like AI. We are also actively engaging in the Gulf to counter restrictive cross-border data transfer policies and promote international best practices, like Japan's Digital Free Flows with Trust initiative and the Global Cross-Border Privacy Rules Forum. Through our collaboration with the UAE and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we are supporting the development of stronger data protection regimes that both promote privacy and the legitimate transfer of personal data that helps ensure access to innovative products that meet the needs of the Gulf population. Turning to Europe, working together with our European partners, our commercial diplomacy and advocacy efforts have helped shape the EU's digital measures to foster innovation and a healthy digital economy on both sides of the Atlantic. Now, of course, while significant challenges and issues on the digital agenda remain, we are making inroads on critical discussions happening at the EU and member state level, while recognizing that these outcomes have an impact on third country regulatory approaches. For example, through our participation in the EU-US Trade and Technology Council, we have had frank and sustained engagement with EU and member state counterparts on the EU cybersecurity certification scheme for cloud services. We welcome recent steps in the direction of removing sovereignty requirements and continue to support a holistic, risk-based approach to EU cybersecurity, including via a cloud certification scheme that enhances all member states' cybersecurity. Finally, as the world leader in AI, we recognize the importance of fostering innovation in this transformative technology while advancing global technical standards for safe, secure, and trustworthy AI development and use. Toward that goal, we are working closely with key international allies and partners. This includes not only Kenya, as I mentioned earlier, but also the UK and Canada, where we have partnered in support of creating a network of AI safety institutes among like-minded partners. As evidenced by these select examples, we at Commerce are working every day to help services and digital trade power sectors across the economy. From enabling clean energy solutions to fostering innovation in critical and emerging technologies, digital services are a principal pillar of US competitiveness, a critical asset to our economic and national security, and a vital tool to improve prosperity for all Americans. That is why at Commerce, we will continue to work with all stakeholders, including industry and lawmakers, to maintain our competitive edge and support growing opportunities for our companies and workers in digital markets overseas. We look forward to continuing to fight the good fight together. Thank you.
I just wanted to say a special thank you on behalf of CSI, and I know many others in the room, for Commerce's leadership and your leadership in particular on services and digital trade barriers. We really appreciate it. And you've already gotten the round of applause you well deserved. But again, thank you so much.